Avian aids are apparent within the context of achieving the Millennium Development Goals. This ongoing training makes it possible for local players to develop and implement good practices to address gender-based violence issues. For GRTS News, I am Fatoumata Simaha.
Well, the report there by Fatoumata Simaha takes us to our first break. We'll be right back. Stay tuned in. Welcome back to GRTS News. More than 60 people have been killed in a stampede in Ivory Coast on New Year's Eve. The incident occurred when people converged at the site to watch fireworks and panic broke out. As we hear in the CFI report, the cause of the panic is not yet certain, but the tragedy has turned into a blame game between the public and the security.
In Abidjan in Côte d'Ivoire, near the Félix Houphouët-Boigny Stadium, shoes, clothes, and bloodstains remained scattered on the ground after people were crushed in a stampede. Around 1 o'clock in the morning, after a fireworks display for the new year, a crowd panicked when they were going home. Ivorian television showed images of the mayhem. At least 60 people were killed when they were crushed and suffocated in the rush of people, including many children. Dozens of others were injured.
There are some wounded people that left on their own and others who refused to be evacuated. We're not at the site of the fireworks. We're away from it. When people were leaving, I think they were not disciplined and it caused a stampede.
For the moment, the cause of the tragedy is unclear and there remain questions about security. But the governor of Abidjan said all security measures had been taken.
We started the fireworks at 12:30 and it finished at 12:45. Everyone went home because the proper security measures were in place and worked. No one was at the site of the fireworks at the time of the incident.
Security was a major concern for authorities ahead of the event, and there was a large police presence. Deputy Defense Minister Paul Kofi Kofi said authorities were concentrated outside the city.
In the city center, there were already fireworks displays in place, so we didn't stay long. We came to the periphery of the city because when people were celebrating in the city center, we had to watch over people going in and out of the city.
This is the second year that Abidjan has had a fireworks display to mark the new year in Côte d'Ivoire. Last year, festivities went over without any major incidents.
2012 was not a good year for Mali, considering the political and economic crisis the country is going through. The country was plunged into chaos when their president, Toumani Touré, was overthrown in a military coup and Islamist rebels took control of the vast north. The CFI report looks at how Malians hope to usher in 2013 and their dreams for their currently destabilized country.
2012 was certainly not a good year for Mali. The country was plunged into a deep crisis when President Toumani Touré was overthrown in a military coup, and in the ensuing chaos, Islamists took control of the vast north of the country. The conflict has been dragging on for nearly a year. So what's the outlook for 2013? In his end-of-the-year speech, interim President Yacounda Traoré focused on finding a rapid solution to the crisis.
Mali will not wait for years, as some have advised. We will not wait for the cancer to spread throughout the body. The war against the terrorists will take place earlier than some think.
In the capital, Bamako, people were getting ready to usher in the new year despite the crisis. Some even bought poultry at the market for the New Year's meal.
My first wish for the future of the Malian people is that we unite and find peace. The current situation in the country is not easy.
But for others, this is no time for celebration. The political and economic crisis is too painful.
We cannot celebrate in Mali today. All we can do is stay put and play cards, that's all.
Things are terrible, nothing is right. There's no money in the country, really.
But most Malians greeted the new year with the hope that 2013 will see a return to peace and stability, even if this will take time and a lot of patience.
People the world over welcomed 2012 in different ways and styles. For people in Burma, they celebrated New Year for the first time outdoors since the military took power. CFI looks at how different cities celebrated New Year's Eve in different ways.
Auckland, New Zealand was one of the world's first major cities to usher in 2013 on Tuesday. The celebrations began with fireworks on top of the Auckland Sky Tower. And Burma came out of years of isolation with its festivities. It was the first time that New Year's celebrations were allowed outdoors. Under military rule, public gatherings were banned. Meanwhile, the leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un, gave a speech broadcast on state media in which he called for an end to the tensions with the South. His address took the place of the traditional policy-setting New Year editorial published in the papers. Elsewhere in Asia, China's metropolis, Shanghai, held a light show and a 3D projection on the facade of a historical building. There was also a fireworks display. And in New York, in Times Square, lovers ring in the new year with a kiss. An estimated 1 million people flocked to watch the fireworks in Manhattan. And over in Russia, thousands came out to welcome the new year in the Red Square. While in Brazil, a record number of people attended the New Year's festivities. An estimated 2 million people celebrated in Rio de Janeiro with a fireworks display over Copacabana Beach. And Dubai exploded with colors on the world's largest skyscraper. And finally in Paris, people rang in the new year with champagne under the Eiffel Tower without the traditional fireworks.
Well, time now to take a second break. We'll be right back.
Naturel yii ci jonge épice te marinade dina neex ba yokk sa appétit ak jonge épice jongeel ba sës jongeel ba faw ni jongeel ba ca biir cin.
Start your day with Armonti, pure margarine with the best ingredients. Also ideal for frying and baking. Every day, an Armonti day.
Ak épice naturel yii ci jonge super doré. Say gruyère ak say ceeb day gën a doore te di nga am cëska bu amul fenn. Jongeel ba sës, jongeel ba faw, ni jongeel ba ca biir cin.
Welcome back to the news, and time now to join Famara Fofana for a look at the sports news. Famara.
Thank you very much, Fatou. In sport, Manchester United maintained their recent good run of form with a thumping 4-0 win over struggling Wigan at the DW Stadium. 2 goals each from Mexican striker Javier Hernandez and Premier League top scorer Robin van Persie ensured Sir Alex Ferguson's side still enter the new year with a hefty 7-point lead ahead of nearest challengers and title holders Manchester City. Roberto Mancini's side smacked a resilient Stoke City side 3 goals to nil to stay in touching distance with the Barclays Premier League leaders. In other scores, a relegation threatened Aston Villa led 2-1 at Swansea until the 94th minute when striker Danny Graham drew the Swans level. Tottenham Hotspur stayed third after coming from behind to beat Reading 3-1 at White Hart Lane. West Bromwich Albion recent struggles continues with a home defense.